So the Swiss has a sell signal. The pound did not give us a sell signal. So let's do now the dollar Swiss. We did the pound dollar, we did the euro dollar. Let's do the Swiss dollar. Now you can see it quite clearly here on the intraday. This is the daily chart, Nicholas. That green is an indication of a buy. This is a chart of the dollar versus the Swiss. So if this is coming down, this means that the dollar is coming down and the Swiss franc is going up. This here means that the dollar is going up, this green day, and that the Swiss franc is coming down. And that is why we were looking at where we are going, which pairs we should be selling the dollar. So we can be selling the dollar versus the pound, we can sell the dollar versus the Swiss, versus the euro, but in this case we do have right now pretty much a buy signal in the dollar Swiss. And we're sitting at the $148. So we are pretty much, this was our original sell signal, so this now turns into our buy signal. The 150.07, we traded above it and we closed the week at 150.02. So this is a buy signal, and we should be looking at buying the Swiss, or buying the dollar versus the Swiss. And this now is quite easy because our buy signal is about 5 pips away at 105.07, and we are trading this week at 105.02. So our buy signal is 4 pips away, which is actually makes it excellent. And we also have a sell signal which is at 148.09. So we have a very close buy signal and a very close sell signal, so it makes the trade in the pound Swiss quite easy. So let me put the lines here so we can plan the trades. I'm going to put 2 lines. So one is going to be our sell signal, which is the 148.09. And our buy signal is the 105.07. And always put these lines on your intraday charts. You see, when you put those 2 lines, you immediately have done your homework and your trade plan. So coming in Monday, you see a red line here, you know you're going to sell it below this red line. You see this green line over there, you know you're going to buy it. You don't need to go through your points or your notes and write and remarks and all that stuff. You have everything done by simply putting a horizontal line on your screen, and you know exactly where your trade plan is. So you know you're buying above the 107 and you're selling below the 148. And Michael Johnson, this here for the guys that are with us, Digby, Andy, look at this, the 148. This was our selling point, and it wasn't from the intraday chart, it was from one of our, and Sven, this is from one of our previous structural points. But if you look here on this chart pattern, this here right now, just 2 pips away, is actually a structural point. That is a structural point. So this makes this baby pretty strong and pretty efficient. If the dollar comes below the 148.04, the 104.80, then you want to be selling because it's a structure point. And if it goes above the 150.20, then you can say that this now is going to push and make a new higher highs. So this here, that chart pattern on the intraday, it falls pretty well in the pattern of the daily charts. So we have a nice sequence of structure that from the daily coming down to the intraday and going back above in the different time scale makes it all set up very nicely. So in this case, it is, again, we have our confirmation. Our selling point in the dollar Swiss is the 104.80, and our buying point is the 105.07. And if you go short below the 104.80, you want your stop to be right above the 104.80. Why, Digby? Because it is a structure point. And let's see if we're going to go long. Where are we going to put our stop? If you're going to buy it here, then it stands to reason that you're going to put your stop right there below the structure point. That's the cleanest technical stop that we have. So I'm going to put my long stop also right there. One and the same, right? It's a perfect stop. I mean, I couldn't pick anything better than that. My structure long is the 106.23, so that remains the, in this case, this now becomes my structure long. Yes, I'm sorry. And my structure short is, let's find our structure short, is the 103.71 now is the structure short. Okay, so this is the dollar Swiss. We are going to go long above the 105.07, and if we do, we're going to place our stop below the 148.04. So we're risking about 30 pips on this trade, or about 30 pips, and we're going to go short below the 148, and in this case we're going to place the stop above the 148. Our structure long is the 106.23, and our structure short is the 103.71. Okay.